Good morning. We will start session 6 on chapter acid, bases and salt. So till now in the previous class we understood what are acids, what are bases, what are their physical and chemical properties. So in chemical properties we understood what happens when acid and bases react with different metals. What happens when acid and base will react when they form a neutralization reaction. What happens when an acid reacts with a metal carbonate, metal bicarbonate, as well when acids and bases react with metal oxides and non-metallic oxides. So in today's class we will study about how is the strength of an acid and base measured, right? Now we can identify by indicators which are acids and which are bases, but the strength is not measured using the indicator. So here the strength of an acid and base is measured by a separate indicator called as a universal indicator. So what is this universal indicator? Universal indicator is a mixture of several indicators like water, propanol, sodium salt, sodium hydroxide, phenolphthalein, methyl red, etc. It is a combination of so many such indicators through which one indicator is prepared. Strength of an acid and base can be estimated using this universal indicator. So what is this universal indicator? This universal indicator is nothing but a pH scale. So basically, when we talk about a pH scale, it is nothing but what do you mean by a scale? A scale which has a measurement, if it is a 15 centimeter scale, a measurement from 1 to 15 centimeter, right? Similarly, a pH scale is a scale for measuring hydrogen ions, H plus ions in a solution, right? What do you mean by this pH here? Where P stands for potence. What do you mean by potence? In German meaning, potence means power. So, pH means power of hydrogen. That means what is the power of H plus ions in the given solution? Suppose in the given solution, if the H plus ion increases, that means the given solution is more acidic. If in the given solution, the H plus ion decreases, that means the solution is basic. So that is how we understand the strength of an acid and base, which is given by a pH scale, which is nothing but a power or strength of a hydrogen. That is, we are measuring the hydrogen ions. Now what a pH scale will look like? If you have seen a litmus paper in your school laboratory, it is just a small strip where we have to tear and check the litmus. We do the litmus test. Similarly, pH strips are also the similar one. You get a small yellow color strips, right? There are certain 100 strips in one packet or in a small booklet kind of a thing. So we have to just tear the slip and check the pH. Now, to check the pH, we have an indicator scale. Here, when we check with litmus will turn from blue to red, red to blue, which will only tell us this is acid and this is base, correct? But here in the pH, we have a scale. What is that scale? That scale will start from 0 to 14. What does it tell? 0 to 14, when I write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and again onwards to 14. 7 at the 7th point, the scale is neutral. What do you mean by this? I will tell you. Now see here, H plus ions are increasing, right? And as it goes this side, H plus ions are decreasing. So what is increasing? OH is increasing, correct? If it is acid, then H plus is increasing. If it is base, OH is increasing. This tells that a scale between 0 to less than 7 is acidic. The scale between after 7 to 14 is basic. Then what is 7? 7 is neutral. What do you mean by it? Neither acidic nor basic. It is a neutral. Now what are the examples for neutral solution? We'll see that further. Right? So increase in H plus ion as you move towards your left hand side. As you move towards your right hand side, it is a increase in OH negative ions or decrease in H plus ions. So this side basic nature increases and to this side acidic nature increases. Now along with this pH strip, you will have one more strip which is attached to the main part of the pH, that is indicator scale, right? Now suppose if you remember going to a dentist sometimes for your tooth replace anything, they come with a matching scale, right? So what color is your tooth and what color replacement has to be given? Forget about that. On TV you get to see this fair complexion, that is Fair and Lovely product advertisement, right? They come with a color complexion scale. What color it is? Have you seen that? Apart from that also, when you go to paint your house, you also have a color combination painting scales. You have red color. In red you have different shades. Similarly, we have a pH scale like this, where you have a color combination or where you have a color segregated right from red, dark red to purple. Now, you are not supposed to dip this scale in the acidic or basic. It will not give you any result. But assume that this is my pH paper and I have dipped in a solution. I don't know what solution it is, right? This will give me a color. Say for example, this is giving me a red color. Okay. Now again in red I have red and dark red. I can't be coloring it on my board here, but you have to assume it. This will be the pH scale. So if you just type on the net pH scale, you will get the color strip. This is the color. These colors are fixed. They will not change. So after dipping this into a particular solution, you have to take this and just match that and see where is what color is this and to which shade it is matching here. Suppose if it is matching with red, then you can say the given solution is more acidic, since because pH is 1, right? So the pH between 0 to 3, what we consider 2.5 to 3, is highly acidic. The pH beyond 3.5 to 6 is slightly acidic. 7 is neutral. The pH between after 7 to 11 are slightly basic, right? The pH between 12 to 14 are highly basic. Got this point? Now, what are the basic examples or what are the common solutions what we use in our everyday life or what we know or what we come across? What are the pH values? We'll see that in the next part. So here, this is the approximate pH of some common solutions what we know or what we come across in our day-to-day situation. Gastric juice. Now, where is this gastric juice present? This gastric juice is present in our body, that is, it is present in our stomach, HCl, which we studied in the process of digestion. So, what does it do? This HCl enzyme pepsin only works in the acidic medium for breaking down of proteins. If you recall that, right? It works in acidic medium, so our stomach produces gastric juice, which is nothing but it produces HCl. Why it produces? Because for digestion, right? Now, our stomach is producing these gastric juices for digestion. So, timely our stomach knows this is a time when I have to produce the gastric juice so that the food is digested. The gastric juice produced is highly acidic, okay? That is why sometimes when we overeat or we do not eat or when we skip the meal, our stomach doesn't know that. Our stomach only knows to produce the acids. It produces acid on timely basis. Suppose for a particular time we haven't consumed anything, but our stomach has released acid because it used to release the acid always. At that point of time, we get high acidity. Do we get the burning sensation? Yes, that's only because of the acid. Apart from that, we also get acidity when we overeat. What happens? more and more amount of gastric juice is released where our body cannot tolerate that. Now here it's still a high concept on this. We only understand briefly that our stomach produces this gastric juice which is used for digestion, over secretion which causes acidity. What do we do for acidity? We take a base, that is, we take an antacid and we neutralize it, correct? So the pH of a gastric juice is approximately 1 to 3, which is highly acidic. Lemon juice, lemonade or lemon juice, what we say, that is also acidic, which is between 2.2 to 2.4. Vinegar is 3. Now again here, though it is highly acidic, it comes under this, but again it comes under weak acid. Yes, this comes under strong acid. We know what are strong acids and weak acids. Tomato juice 4.1. Coffee, it's 4.5 to 5. That means coffee is acidic, right? Either it is a black coffee or a coffee with milk, coffee is acidic. Sometimes we get acidity by over drinking tea or coffee. Here is the next point. Tea is also acidic. The pH value of coffee is 4.5 to 5 and pH value of tea is between 4.9 to 5.5. But I have put a slash and written 7 to 10, that is a constituent or a pH of a green tea. Nowadays there is a trend, everybody is having a green tea. It is good for digestion, good for your body, produces antioxidants, etc. right? But it is not acidic. That is why its pH is between 7 to 10. Now there again it depends what type of green tea you are consuming. Now here generally I have written, or in general, what could be the pH of the green tea? Acid rain is 5.6. You all know what is acid rain. What is the pH of a rain then? Actually pH of a rainwater, which is a pure water, is 7 actually. But what happens when all the poisonous gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, these will get mixed with the atmosphere and finally they condense and pour down as a form of a rain. So their pH decreases. That is why it is called as a acid rain. Milk 6.5. Milk is not basic. Milk is acidic, but you can say since it is 6.5 because neutral value is 7, so it is slightly acidic but not completely acidic. Okay. Saliva 6.5 to 7.5. That means saliva is slightly acidic as well as slightly basic. But how is it possible? See here, any values whatever we have written here, either they are completely acidic, either it is completely base here, right? Only one we have a base. Rest all are acidic in nature. But why saliva lies between 6.5 to 7.5? That means when you check the pH of the saliva before food, it is basic. Why? Before food, our body has not released HCl for digestion. Therefore, it is before food, I will write here. It is basic. The saliva of our mouth after food is 6.5, slightly acidic because our body produces gastric juices. Remember that. There can be a question. Saliva before food is acidic. Why? Saliva before food is basic. Why? Or saliva after food is acidic. Why? You should know this. Next, pH of a pure water is 7. Now, pure water is not the water which we get from aquaguard or boiling, filtering, etc. Pure water is a water which is free from all the minerals which is actually not fit for drinking. pH of a pure water is 7. pH of our blood is 7.36 to 7.42, which means it is slightly alkaline, it is base. pH of baking soda is 8.4. pH of seawater is 9. pH of washing soda solution is 10. Lime water, calcium hydroxide is 12, right? Milk of magnesia is 10.5. What is milk of magnesia? It is used in antacid. Now, usually you have an antacid at home. You have Eno, you have Digene or Digene syrup. These are the common things what we have it at home. Please go and check the content of these things. What content it has? It has magnesium oxide or written as milk of magnesia or whatever, which is nothing but 10.5. Sodium hydroxide is 14, that is NaOH. It is highly basic, highly corrosive. Drinking water pH lies between 6.5 to 8.5. Now again here how it differs is, now for example, let us take a mineral water what we buy from outside. We have Bisleri, we have Aquafina, we have so many things. Do all water taste the same? No, they taste different. Their pH of water is different from different manufacturers. But pH of drinking water is safe between 6.5 to 8.5. pH of our toothpaste is 8. That means it is basic. Where is it used and how it is useful? We'll see that in the further part. So this is about the pH of our commonly what we use are the solutions in our everyday life. Yes, we'll go to the next part now. pH in human body. So how plants and animals are very sensitive to pH. That means we are pH sensitive. Why are we pH sensitive? Because a slight increase or decrease in the pH constituent in our body will be actually problematic. It might even be a life-taking or a risk for our body, right? How is it? Let us just check. Human body pH is about 7 to 7.8. So that is the constant pH of our body where all our body parts and which can function well. What will happen if our pH falls below 6.9, right? That means at that point of time we are prone to diseases. We are prone to viral diseases. Now that means to keep our body fit, to keep our good immunity, we sometimes consume so many different things like vitamin C gives you immunity, etc. Good food, nutritious food, etc. The present condition of what is going on, we all have to keep our body fit for this. That means our body's pH should not fall between that range. How the body's pH will fall, now that's again big concept, but just understand that we have to maintain a good immunity level so that our body pH maintains between 7 to 7.8. Below 6.9 it is prone to diseases. A particular pH where it goes below 5 or 5.5, it is a house for cancer cells to develop or to regenerate, right? That means our body itself decides. When the pH goes down to a very low level, that means it is open for all the diseases. So, we have to keep ourselves fit and fine, and it is not in our hand I can increase my pH, but we have to only see that our immunity is good. So, below 6.9 it is prone to infection. Healthy human skin's pH falls between 4.5 to 6. Now, why is this required? Healthy human skin. Now, what do you mean by a healthy human skin? It is not by applying makeups or whatever different things. If your human skin is healthy, glowing, it is free from all scars, marks, etc. Even your complexion. You need not be fair, dark or anything. But it will a healthy complexion, what you say. Now, for example, when we talk, a person being very thin is not healthy, he is weak. A person who is very hefty or fat is not healthy. No, it is all about how his body is functioning, right? Similarly here, to have a good human skin, now what it could be? Now, have you seen some people, if they just use if the water changes or if the soap changes, they start, what we can say is, they get rashes on their body, right? That is only because their skin is very sensitive. That means to have a healthy human skin, our skin's pH have to be between 4.5 to 4.6. You also might have come across, suddenly when you just use some water when you go to outstation, you start itching your body. That's because of the pH of your body. What I can tell, sometimes pH of the water also matters. Remember, healthy human skin's pH should be around 4.5 to 6. pH of a stomach fluid, what we discussed here, should be between, at approximately 2 I have written, that is what, between 1 to 3 approximately. That means now when we talk about it is pH is 2, that means at 2 it is highly acidic. It is so very acidic. For example, if I take the HCl from my stomach and if I add any metal or anything to it, that metal, that HCl can melt that metal. Just imagine how highly acidic our body produces, right? How highly acidic thing our body produces for digestion. So that's a very, very strong acid. Yes. So the pH of a gastric juice, that the acid what our stomach produces, is highly corrosive, what I can say. Now if you just see here, lemon juice and vinegar also falls under 2.2 to 2.4 and 3. That means anything which has a pH between 1 to 3 are highly acidic. True, they are highly acidic, but this comes under concentrated acid and these two comes under weak acid. If you try to recapitulate what is weak acid and what is concentrated acid, weak acids are the acid derived from the organic matter, plants and animals. They are weak acids. They are not corrosive. We can even consume it. But yes, their pH lies there. That means it is weak acid. And this is not concentrated. Strong acid. Because concentrated will come and dilute I have to use them. So this is a strong acid and this is a weak acid, right? Next one. Human blood, we have already understood the pH falls between 7.35 to 7.45. What happens if it falls below that? Same thing, you are prone to so many diseases. Saliva, the pH, because since we are talking about human body, let's again discuss that. Saliva, that is 6.5 to 7.5. 6.5, it is acidic after consuming food. 7.5 is basic, that is before consuming food. The next one, pH of our mouth. This is very, very important. pH of our mouth, that is oral cavity, what we say, falls between 6.7 to 7.3. Now what is this? Now saliva pH is different, pH of our mouth is different. So that is something more responsible for our tooth enamel or our tooth cavity. Dental caries, what we say, another word what we use. Now what are dental caries? Dental caries are what you can say is dental caries are the thing where your tooth gets corroded or you have an infection in the tooth or bacteria are deposited in your tooth, right? So pH of our mouth falls between 6.7 to 7.3. Below 5.5, the tooth enamel. Now what is tooth enamel? Now we all have a shiny glowing teeth, right? So that is only because our tooth have a enamel, a kind of a coating. What coating it is? It is a coating of calcium phosphate. That is one of the hardest substance in our body, which cannot dissolve very easily, right? Such a hard substance can corrode only if the pH falls below 5.5. Now, how can the pH of our mouth falls below 5.5? That is because when we eat something, when we eat chocolates or when we eat anything, if we do not brush our teeth and we just go to bed like that, what happens? So, bacteria will start jumping on them. Whatever food we have enjoyed for the whole day, bacteria will enjoy on that food for the whole night, right? So, what will happen? It will make a small home in your tooth. That is, it will make a cavity and it will start going deep and deep into it. Not only that, it creates problem further. You have a toothache, pus, then you have to extract the tooth, so many things. So basically what will happen is, the minute you eat something, chocolates or something, and when you don't brush your teeth, so these bacteria start creating another layer that becomes more acidic, right? Since it becomes acidic, what will happen to calcium phosphate? That will start corroding. Now for example, now assume that, so this is your tooth, right? So you have one coating here on the top. I'll just draw this coating. Fine. This coating is protecting your tooth from getting affected by bacteria. But after eating food for a very long period of time, usually what happens in a daytime, not much. But if you do not brush properly after eating sweets, chocolates, or at the night time, what will these bacteria do? They will start enjoying the food what we have eaten for the whole day. They will start corroding because the things becomes acidic. Since it is acidic, the calcium phosphate enamel starts getting corroded. Since the enamel starts getting corroded, bacteria have easy way to get inside, right? So that is called something called as a dental caries. So what we do here, we brush our teeth with a toothpaste. Now what does toothpaste do? Since there is an acidic thing given by bacteria, toothpaste is basic, acid and base neutralizes, correct? That is why toothpaste I have written it as 8. So it works on that acidic thing what is created by the bacteria in our mouth. Now we all know that base are bitter to taste, but toothpaste is not bitter to taste. How is it? We discussed that all acids are sour to taste and all base are bitter to taste. But toothpaste is not bitter. That's only because they have added some flavors to the toothpaste, because nobody likes to brush your thing early in the morning or late night after having food with some bitter thing, right? That's only because some flavors are added. But actually if you recall, our olden days people, what they used to use, neem sticks, what they were using, they were actually bitter. That means base are always bitter in taste. So next part is here, pH of soil. pH of soil is between 3.5 to 10. Now see, sometimes when we grow certain type of plants or some trees, so in some soil they grow well and in some soil they do not grow well, because a particular plant requires a particular pH, where a farmer knows that very well. Now for example, all citrus fruits require slightly alkaline soil, that is basic soil. All rice crops requires acidic soil. Sugarcane requires a neutral soil. That means one should know before farming or planting these trees. The last one, pH of rain is 7. As I told you, it comes under pure water since it is 7, which is neutral. But now what happens is, if it gets polluted by the poisonous gases, like when we burn fossil fuels, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, all these gases are let into the atmosphere, which combines and condense. When it pours down in the form of a rain, it gets mixed with that and comes down as a acid rain, which lowers the pH of the rain. Since it lowers the pH, what is affected? pH of the soil is thus affected. So this is the pH in the human body and how pH acts a very important role in our day-to-day life. So in today's class, we understood about what is a universal indicator, how do you measure the strength of an acid or a base using the indicator, that is nothing but a pH scale, which tells us the power of hydrogen ions. As the hydrogen ions increases, acidic nature increases. As the hydrogen ion decreases, then basic nature increases. That means OH, a negative ion, increases there. We also understood some approximate pH of the common solution what we use in our day-to-day life, as well how human body and plants are sensitive to pH. So in today's class about the pH and about the universal indicator, if you have any doubt, you can call on the same day of the video set.